Good evening, and thanks for tuning in. This is Political Forum for Wednesday, September 17th, 2014. We welcome today as our guest Lou Leng, the state representative from the 16th District and Deputy Majority Leader in the Illinois House of Representatives. Leader Leng, thank you for joining us.
What a pleasure. Thanks.
I'm Louis Mosos, a board member at CAN TV. Political Forum is a live, interactive program brought to you as a public service by CAN TV. We welcome your questions and comments for Representative Leng by calling us at 312-738-1060, the number you see at the bottom of your screen. During the next 25 minutes, we'll try to get to as many of your calls and comments on the air as possible. I welcome everyone to call and have a frank and open discussion with Representative Leng. Greetings, Representative. Would you mind giving us a brief overview of your district?
Sure. My district includes Skokie, where I live, Lincolnwood, Morton Grove, and the city of Chicago. And, of course, not all of it, just the very northern tip, the 50th Ward.
And can you tell viewers a little bit of what's going on in the district these days?
I have a very quiet district. People are very busy going about their lives and taking care of their families. And I'm not one of these legislators that has a long line of constituents out in front of his or her office every day. A very fortunate district. People do well. Low rates of foreclosure, low rates of unemployment, and but they do have a lot of opinions, and I hear from them on a regular basis. A very opinionated group of people that I represent, and that helps me do my job when I come to Springfield.
Great, and now you're on break, so you're in the district more frequently. This session that just wrapped up, would you mind telling us what are some of the most memorable pieces of legislation and maybe some interesting committees that you sit on?
Well, sure. I think we've had an interesting year. We started the session with the notion that we had many billions of dollars in debt, bills that we hadn't paid, and while things are not perfect in Illinois, we're going in the right direction. So at one point we had $9 billion in bills that we owed providers and state universities, etc. We've whittled that down to $3 billion and probably will have that paid off in the next year. We have a balanced budget. We've been able to make cuts but sustain vital services for the state of Illinois and sustain a reasonable amount of funding for education while we have paid off those bills. We passed an important pension bill this year. Some liked it, some didn't. But the fact is that we have a serious pension problem in the state of Illinois, and something had to be done about it. And this was the best bill we had seen yet, although certainly not perfect. The Supreme Court may decide it's unconstitutional. If they do, we'll be forced to deal with it again. But the payment of these pension dollars that we owe has been keeping us from adding more money to education, more money to human services, and to take care of more of the needs of the people of the state of Illinois. And I'm proud to say we finally passed a bill that would allow for gay marriage in the state of Illinois. It was hard fought, it was hard to do, but we accomplished that. One bill I had that I'm very proud of is a bill that would enhance the medical marijuana law, which I had passed the previous year, a bill that would have, or does, when it's fully implemented, provide a much better quality of life for some of the very sickest people in our state. This year we were able to add epilepsy to the list of qualifying diseases and allow children with epilepsy not to smoke marijuana, but to use marijuana oils to alleviate their symptoms. And there's some very happy parents that we were able to do that.
Going back to what you raised about pensions and the need to fund education and healthcare services, it looks like the Supreme Court might rule that that legislation is unconstitutional, in which case your job is a lot more difficult. You've been in office about 27 years. Do you think things have gotten easier or harder, or you've always had to make these kinds of tough decisions?
Certainly the pension bill that we voted on last year was the toughest vote I've ever had to make. I had friends on both sides of the issue, reasonable arguments made by reasonable people and also some hysterical people on both sides of the issue, and legislators on both sides of the aisle and of all political persuasions had to come to grips with, do we need to do this? What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? How are we going to get this pension debt off our neck and still pass a bill that's constitutional? there's some very questionable language in this constitution, in this pension bill, that may likely cause the Illinois Supreme Court to declare it unconstitutional, and we will simply have to start over.
Great, thank you. I believe we have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Representative Lang.
Well, yeah, I know there's a midterm election coming up, and the voting rates tend to be pretty low during that time. Why, first of all, why is that? And also, do you think that absentee voting can kind of help with that, and how can we make it easier for people to, kind of get more engaged in the process?
Thank you for the question. Firstly, we've had a decreasing voter turnout for a long period of time. Most states have had that. I think when people are busy in their lives, and many Illinoisans are still not working, although the unemployment rate is as low as it's been since Pat Quinn's become governor. More people working than at any time since Pat Quinn has become governor. The fact is, though, that when people are busy and they have issues in their lives, and they're worried about their mortgage, and they're worried about paying their rent, and they're worried about sending their kids to college and their health care, people like me in politics have to take a back seat to that. I think also the notion that we've had some governors go to jail over the last many years has convinced people in Illinois that people in public life are not good people, that maybe there's corruption, and certainly there's corruption, has been corruption, but I think it's better for people to take the bull by the horns and decide they're going to take over the government, that people are going to be more involved, and the more involved people get, the better the government will be. It's only when people aren't looking that bad things happen. And so there are bills that we have passed that will make it easier. We've extended grace period voting right up to the day before election. We've made it easier to vote by mail. We've made it easier to vote early voting. And I would encourage anyone who's watching this show who has an interest in increasing voter turnout and in making a difference in who wins these elections, particularly the state house and the state senate and statewide offices and governor and the United States Senate, I would encourage you to take your friends, grab them by the hand, and when early voting starts, make sure they get in and vote.
And most people are surprised to find out you can vote on a Saturday and a Sunday during the early voting period. Thank you very much for your question. I believe we have another question. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Representative Lang.
Hi, Representative. Thank you for taking my call.
It's a pleasure.
Hi. I wanted to actually talk about the minimum wage and just to see if the current governor is reelected, will the representatives in the state Senate support increasing the minimum wage?
Thank you for the question. I think there's a good level of support for increasing the minimum wage, but as of today, we do not have sufficient votes in both chambers to pass this. Now, on the ballot in November, there's going to be an advisory referendum regarding the minimum wage. You will be asked, every voter will be asked, do you think we should increase the minimum wage? It's advisory only. It's not binding on the legislature, and yet a resounding vote in favor of that minimum wage increase will give some backbone to some colleagues of mine who have yet to jump off the fence. So I think it's a very important advisory referendum. I'm quite certain if the General Assembly passes such a bill, the governor would sign it.
Thank you for your question. I'd like to remind viewers you're watching Political Forum, a community service of CAN TV. I'm Louis Mososa, board member of CAN TV. This is a live interactive show, so feel free to call Representative Lang at 312-738-1060 with any questions or comments.
May I add something to my previous comment? So when I said I think the governor would sign it, I mean this governor. Governor Quinn would sign this. If we have a Governor Rauner, if Mr. Rauner wins this election, he has signaled that he's opposed to the increase in the minimum wage. In fact, at one point in his career, he signaled we shouldn't even have a minimum wage. And then at another point in his career, he signaled that we should lower the minimum wage. So those who are watching who are interested in an increase in the minimum wage, be very careful who you cast your vote for governor.
Thank you very much for your question. Regarding the need for new revenues, would you like to go into the medicinal marijuana legislation that you passed, been trying to pass for 5 years, finally got it done? Applications are being accepted by the state right now, and what that means for the state of Illinois.
Sure. When I got into the notion of medical marijuana, there were many that talked to me about the revenue we could gain as a state from it. My interest at this point, and at the point I took on the bill, was not about revenue, although we'll get some revenue. My interest is in helping very sick people improve their lives. People who are flat on their back. We have a friend of mine named Jim Champion, who's a war veteran, who has MS, who's in a hospital right now, in fact, who, before he took medical marijuana, was taking over 60 pills a day to unfold his hands and to be able to move at all and to stop his stomach spasms and simply to be able to live. Those pills were debilitating. They put him flat on his back, made him unable to eat, unable to take care of his family in any way at all, and unable to enjoy any part of his life. When he started taking medical marijuana, many of these things dissipated. Of course, he still has MS, but now he's down to 5 pills a day. A dramatic improvement in Jim's life, and it will be a dramatic improvement for others in Illinois. This bill was very carefully crafted to make sure only the best and brightest get the licenses to grow and the licenses to sell. No one's going to get a license to grow or sell unless they pass rigorous background checks and are absolutely the best applicants. And then, of course, patients will be checked also. We want to make sure that people aren't dealing this out in the public, and that we have created in the bill and in the rules that will administer the bill a significant system for tracking every leaf of marijuana, every cookie that's sold, every brownie, every tub of oil that comes from marijuana leaves. So we will know who's buying it, how much they're buying, and be able to track it. So I think we put a safe system together, and the state will make some money from this. But my goal was simply to take care of patients, and I think we will be able to do that.
Thank you. I believe we have another caller. Hi, you're on the air with Representative Lang.
Hi, how are you, Representative?
It's great to be with you. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I read an article earlier today that talked about how in Illinois, for every one job that's created here, 2 people sign up for food stamps. And it just seems like, compared to other states like Indiana, our recovery has gone a little bit more slowly. And I just wanted to know, what steps the legislature will be taking to try to get more Illinoisans back to work.
Well, that's a great question, and I appreciate it. But the fact is that there's a fallacy in the premise. And so for all of the talk you hear on the news about all these jobs that are leaving Illinois and going to Wisconsin and Indiana, the truth is that more people moved from Wisconsin and Indiana in the last few years to Illinois to work than moved in the other direction. And the fact is that we've created more jobs in Illinois in the last few years than any state in the Midwest. And the most startling fact of all is that of all 50 states, only 2 other states have created more new startup businesses than the state of Illinois in the last few years. And what does all this mean? It means our economy is much better. There are those that want to bash it, and there are those that want to compare where we are today to some perfect model where everybody's working. We do have a lot to do. We have a lot more people to put to work. But it's much more instructive to compare us not to where we want to go, but to where we were. And where we were when Pat Quinn took office was at a place where a national recession was destroying many states' economies, not just Illinois. Illinois was a little slow to recover, but we're making a huge comeback. Unemployment is down substantially since 2008. More people are working, and while we still have a long way to go, I think we can be proud of the progress we've made.
Speaking on the need for revenues, as well as Indiana and these other states, gaming is always at the tip of people's tongues, and the casino in northwest Indiana, where a lot of people from Illinois tend to gamble. You've been involved in this debate for almost the 2 decades that we've had riverboat casino gaming. Would you care to weigh in on what you see the future of gaming becoming here in the state?
To me, gaming is a tool. It's not some people don't like gaming, they don't like gambling, and that's fine, but it's a legal business here in the state of Illinois. We have casinos, we have racetracks, we have pull tabs, we have bingo games. In fact, there's more ways to gamble legally today in the state of Illinois than in the state of Nevada. And the fact is that it's added many jobs and much revenue to our economy. To put our head in the sand and say, well, let's not do more, says to those who create jobs in Illinois, well, okay, so we're going to let all these jobs go to Indiana. We're going to let all these jobs go to Wisconsin. And I think it's irresponsible for us to do that. People say, well, why do you have to do gambling? Why can't you do Disneyland? I said, and someone who said that to me, I said, listen, if they wanted to build Disneyland here, I'd be the first person to sign up to help them do it. But they don't want to build Disneyland here. We have to find ways to create jobs. If we didn't already have gaming in Illinois, if they didn't have gaming in every state that surrounds us, I'd say, well, now wait. Let's take a look at what we're doing here. But the fact is that we ought to enhance a business that is in a situation where the competition that surrounds us, in essence, is putting its foot on our economic throat because we can't put people to work as fast as they can. It's a legal business, and until it isn't a legal business, we ought to do everything we can do to enhance it, just as we would the auto business. If the only place to buy a car was in Indiana, we'd probably call a special session of the Illinois General Assembly to say, why aren't we selling cars in Illinois? It's no different here.
Representative Lang, what do you think some of the challenges are going to be in the upcoming veto session? And do you think the outcome of the election would pose different challenges for the legislature?
I absolutely do. So our biggest challenge, as it has been the last several years, is to find a way to balance a budget with less money. And to balance a budget at the same time we want to reduce our debt and put more people to work at a time where the extension of the income tax increase that we passed some time ago is up for a vote or might be up for a vote. Legislators will have to determine what to do about that. If we do not extend that income tax increase, then in the half year left in the fiscal year from January to June, it will cost the state $2 billion in revenue, and for the following fiscal year, $4 billion. That's out of a total usable state revenue source of $36 billion. In other words, 1/9 or 11% approximately of all available state revenue will disappear. Now, how do we balance our budget, pay our bills, and put Illinois back to work, take care of the health care needs and the education needs of the people of Illinois without that 11% in our budget? Very difficult to do. We have one candidate running for governor, Mr. Rauner, who wants to not let that tax happen and wants to add a service tax so that the people out here who are watching, who live day to day, hand to mouth, and have barely enough money to make ends meet, will have to pay taxes on every service you get, whether it's getting your shoes shined or whether it's getting your lawn mowed or any service you get. Dental work, that's what candidate Rauner wants to do. I think that's wrong. I think it's a bad way to go. Additionally, I think that candidate Rauner, should he become governor of the state of Illinois, will have to decimate the budget. Hurt schools, hurt health care, hurt human services, and I think it's an inappropriate direction for our state. Those who agree with me, I hope will vote the other way.
Thank you. I believe, do we have a caller? No caller, my mistake. I'd like to remind viewers you're watching Political Forum, a community service of CAN TV. This is a live interactive show, so if you have a question for Representative Lang, feel free to call us at 312-738-1060. Regarding those cuts we were just discussing, obviously those are some big numbers in the billions, so someone will have to decide who's going to be a winner or a loser, where these cuts are going to come out of. You might have more cuts to health care or to education. Can you discuss some of the perils we'll face by losing $4 billion? Some of the things.
At best, creating budgets is a little bit of like Russian roulette. Different people have different sets of priorities. Some people want to put a little more money into education, a little less into human services. Some are very fond of extra money for, let's say, mental health, and others are more fond of building things. The less money you have, the more difficult the creation of a budget is. And the very first obligation of state government every year, although it's not the very first thing we do, but the very first obligation we have is to pass a balanced budget. And no matter who the governor is, and no matter how much money we have, we will pass a balanced budget. The question is, what will it look like? Are we going to be cutting education and health care and human services 11% or around for everybody in the state of Illinois? I think that would be devastating. I think people who are watching who have kids in the public schools don't want to see that. What they want to see is a better effort by state government to provide more support and more funding to local public schools, not a smaller level of support to local public schools. So we can do better than that, and we're going to have to.
Thank you. I believe we have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Representative Lang.
Hello, I had a question. You were mentioning something about the legalization of marijuana in Illinois. My question to you is, why is it illegal for people to sell it on the south side and the west side of Chicago, but you guys are legalizing it for people to sell it inside of the stores when the weed or marijuana contains the same chemicals in there, and people are going to want to walk in there. Can you help me out with that, please?
Sure. Thank you for the question. And so the bill is very clear that you can't sell this stuff. You can't have a dispensary or a cultivation center anywhere near a school, anywhere near a residential neighborhood. And so there's that. Additionally, this is about medical marijuana. These are not going to be stores like in Colorado or Washington where anybody can walk in off the street and buy marijuana. It's not even going to be like in California where you can get some phony baloney prescription from a doctor and say that you haven't even met and go online and get a prescription to walk in and buy marijuana. This is the most highly controlled, highly regulated medical marijuana law in the country out of the 21 states that will have it. People from other states that don't have medical marijuana are calling me, asking me how I could put together such a bill and pass such a bill that is so highly regulated. It's become a model for the nation. I don't say that out of ego. I say that out of the people that have been calling me to tell me that. And we're going to help some very sick people feel better. Some would say this is a precursor to passing recreational marijuana. I want you to know that I have no interest in that at the present time. I have no interest in recreational marijuana. My sole goal was to help sick people have a better quality of life, and that's where we're going to go.
And Representative Lang, isn't it correct that there's going to be a total of 60 dispensaries spread out throughout the state of Illinois, and there'll be several in the south and west sides that'll be dispensing for medicinal purposes?
That's correct. The city of Chicago is going to get 13 dispensaries under the rules that were adopted. There will be 47 others spread around the rest of the state, each one of them where the owners have background checks, each one of them that have been thoroughly vetted. And it is my hope and it is my expectation that you will see no leakage out the back door and that all of these businesses will be well run and all of these businesses will do their job legally and provide a product to patients that they need.
Thanks, Leader Lang. We have just a few minutes left. Are there any final comments you'd like to make to our viewers out there?
I think it's important that people register, and I think it's important that you vote. You may not like the political system we have. You may like it. You may not care one way or the other. But I will tell you that what happens in November has a direct impact on your life. It has a direct impact on your children, on your parents, on your neighbors, on your friends, on your communities. It is critical that we make decisions and not allow other people to make decisions for us about who is going to make decisions that affect us personally. A lot of people vote based on their gut, rather necessarily than what's in their head about what they know. Maybe they're angry today. Maybe they're concerned about something and want to vote for someone or against someone on one issue. I would caution against that. I would caution against finding out in general what's in your best interest as a person, as a family, as a worker, as someone that wants to improve Illinois, and find the right people to vote for. And if you do, the right people will win and you'll improve our state.
Thank you, Representative Lang. Again, if you'd like to reach Representative Lang, feel free to call him at his office, 847-673-1131, or use the email address you see on your screen. And thank you, the viewers, for your calls and your comments today. Our telephone technician has been Steve. Political Forum is brought to you as a community service by CAN TV. Please join us again for Political Forum next Wednesday evening. Thank you.